In qualifying yesterday, let's see what happened to Phil Bennett a moment ago.
Well, Bennett has a big slide and Leslie, his teammate, spins in avoidance.
Oh, so not good news for the Protons. Now Paul O'Neill ready to come out. Phil Bennett's coming out already. Oh, and they've hit each other. Paul O'Neill drives into the side of Bennett, hits the podium truck down at the end of the pit lane.
His fault. He's driving along the pit lane. Here you are in car on the pit lane speed limiter, and he gets tagged by Paul O'Neill.
But now wanting to find a way past Matt Neal. Oh, and Thompson's gone off. That was Thompson sliding off in the background.
Why is that happened, you plonker? Sorry. Next time I'll give it you back.
Well, Matt Neal
Very disgruntled there, Tim.
Yes, his mother's obviously had a word with him not to swear on camera, but he really is very upset, and justifiably so. He was minding his own business, and Gavin Piper made a big mistake there, locking up and punching the back of him, and both of them in the gravel.
He was leading, of course, but several cars will go past him as he rejoins. Chilton's out, big time off, into the Honda barrier in his Honda Racing Civic. Couldn't get much closer than Morrison got to the back of Thompson's car, but here comes Muller. Muller down the inside. Oh, he hits him and he takes them both onto the grass to pick up the pieces if anyone makes a mistake. Down into Paddock, and Warren Hughes has gone for the inside line this time. Oh, they touch on the turn into Paddock. But they're both sideways. Into the gravel goes Ivan Muller. He's got it back out again. So up through Surtees they come, up towards Clearways, and Matt Neal, oh, he's hit the back of O'Neill's car, and Matt Neal's got through. He's taken the lead on the last corner. Oh, and Hughes has gone off.
That was a very late lunge. There was half a chance up the inside. Matt went for it. There was contact. Well held by Paul, and Matt got through. I think that's touring car racing, really. He had to go for it. And poor old Warren Hughes gets nothing after a great race.
And then they came out of Paddock Hill Bend, up towards the hairpin at Druids. Remember, Bennett goes off for some reason here. Let's see. Bang! Oh, and he's got off straight in front of Gavin Piper. Hughes, he's definitely on a charge. Meanwhile, on board with Anthony Reid. Oh, and Turkington's hit Chris Ryan. One of the production class cars spinning into the pit wall there on the top straight. Bits of glass flying all over the place, and a lot of damage done to the front of that car. Moves back over, leaves the door open a bit into Graham Hill. Ben Thompson begins to go for it. They make contact. Turkington sideways, gets it back to go. No, he's lost it again over the grass. Oh, and he's into the barrier. Turkington, second place to nothing. Reid and Warren Hughes. Let's take another look at this.
James just touches the back of Turkington's car, and he initially controls it very well, but it's straightening the car up. He accidentally tags Thompson, and that spears him off into the tyres. That he saw some sunlight glinting on the lights and thought they'd changed.
Oh, and into the Collard, that is. Collard's is gone. So, oh, he slams into Hughes, and Anthony Reid as well has gone with him on. There's another car that gets hit right at the end of all that. My goodness, that was a huge impact. There's the car of Rob Collard, the privateer, the man who leads the independent category. Let's take another look here, Tim.
Yeah, just in the background, there's a bit of congestion. Gavin Piper and Collard touch as Collard moves across the road, and he's a passenger then. The car spins round, straight back across, slams into the side of Warren Hughes, and Anthony Reid and Jim Edwards Jr., the innocent bystanders in that.
This is Warren Hughes.
Wait for the impact.
Oh. That was a big impact, wasn't it?
I think he'll be very glad. That's 125 miles an hour. That is ever so quick.
Oh,
great
Matt
move.
Neal's got it. Oh, look at Thompson, completely crossed up. Oh, what a great save. Let's take a look back at what happened to Phil Bennett here, Tim.
Yeah, Tom Chilton's got completely sideways up in front, and Bennett's tried to go through and just clipped the front of him.
Now, another view from Tom Chilton.
Cold rear tyres, and the car gets sideways, but Tom corrects it, but poor old Phil Bennett has nowhere to go and tags him really hard.
And now it's becoming a three-way battle. Turkington in the middle, Morrison nearest us, O'Neill, oh, they make contact into Beckett's. Morrison goes for a spin, he's out across the gravel. Oh, nearly puts it up over onto its side, gets it back together. Look, that's allowed Matt Neal to get past both Turkington and O'Neill. Let's take another look at it.
On board with Paul O'Neill, who's clearly up the left, then gets banged by Turkington, who's been banged in turn by Morrison, trying to turn in and claim all of the road. Well, that was radiator coolant leaking on the floor. We're on board with Kay. On his right is Paul O'Neill, who moves across, cuts him off, and then backs it in front of him and slams into the side of him.
The racing line really funnels down, and you can see turning into the hairpin. It's all go there as one of the Vauxhalls gets tipped into a half spin, and Tom Chilton runs wide. Off the racing line, it's very slippery. On the racing line, it's very close for comfort.
Now this was O'Neill, and Eves got in front of him, and then O'Neill ran into the back of him, and Eves hit Carl Breeze, his teammate. Yeah, then Rob Collard was alongside him. Let's just see what happened into Yenwood, turning in. Bang! Once again,
well, lost a bit of time, lost a position, but he's going to get that position back by the look of it.
He's up the inside of Muller, he hits him, turning into the Chapman curve. Morrison wants to win this second race. He's going around the outside into the chicane, and he's got in front. Oh, he's right across the grass trying to get in front, but he has got in front. Oh, and look at the marker post just disappearing straight away on the first lap. Virtually smoke from Matt Neal. He's in trouble as they turn into the left-hander. So Matt Neal's, well, it looks like it might be more than just a lock-up. There's a lot of smoke. Where the others gone? Oh, Morrison's lost out. Morrison went wide, and now Reed's in front. So in behind Bentwood he comes as they come through what is turn 4 on the oval, and he's hit him. He's made contact with Bentwood. Bentwood spins, hits him as well, and into the wall as Boardman tries to recover, gets it pointed straight, but Bentwood has gone pretty heavily into that concrete wall, and that was a pretty hefty hit.
But he certainly didn't do it all on his own there. Boardman just tucks into the rear there, just turns him round, and there's nothing much that Bentwood can do about it. He's heading for the wall. Well, the Peugeot gets away with it, but that's a heavy impact for the BMW, wrecked front and rear.
Let's see what happened.
This is in car with Dan Eves. You've got Muller and his teammate Paul O'Neill just in front. Paul O'Neill hits the inside curb, jumps out and knocks Muller wide. Guess he's run wide. We're looking at a replay now. He's run wide through Clerbo, gets into the gravel, sideways. He's totally out of control now. Out and bullseye straight through the middle of the tyres.
Well, not great for Phil Bennett, but look at this battle as well. Anthony Reed still under attack from Paul O'Neill. O'Neill hits Reed. He's completely crossed up. Sideways, Reed gathers it back together, and Paul O'Neill's gone past.
But certainly not the way the textbook suggests. Just on board now, and he locks up over the bumps, has nowhere to go, slams in the back of Reedy, who does a brilliant job not to spin. Thought they were all overcome, but absolute disaster, and gifting James Thompson second place.
On board with Tom Chilton. Oh, look ahead, Warren Hughes has gone off. Disappears into the cornfield. And what happened there?
Warren, what happened? I'm up in the cornfield.
Board this Honda, and he's not getting away as Paul O'Neill here has a little look up the inside into the hairpin. Contact with his own teammate, James Thompson. The red lights change to green, and away we go. And the front row gets underway, and it's a good start from Matt Neal. Oh, and there's an accident behind them. Right behind them, Warren Hughes has run into Colin Turkington. Tom Chilton's involved, old cars, trying to avoid it all. Michael Bentwood's in the middle of that, and we've got somebody else off. That looks like Carl Breathe. Let's see from on board Warren Hughes.
Hughes makes a good start, bit of wheel spin from Chilton Turkington. He goes in between and it just turns the cars into each other. That's a disaster for MG.
Well, Warren Hughes managed to continue. Let's take another look. Now, this was with Michael Bentwood in the BMW. Now, he made a brilliant start. Look at this, getting past a load of the touring cars.
Well, he's made a great start, the rear-wheel drive, but it's just driven him straight into trouble. He collects the back of Turkington's car.
That's Danny Buxton we're looking at, coming up towards Riches, who will be later on the brakes. Turkington brakes late. Oh, and Dan Eves has lost it. Oh, and Buxton hits him in avoidance, trying to go round the outside. Buxton's in the field.
Oh, what disaster for Team Halfords. I mean, no fault there of Danny Buxton. He was merely trying to...
Now, further back, you can see there's a battle going on here. Alan Morrison with Phil Bennett. Oh, and Bennett's hit Morrison. Round goes Morrison and off. Well, he hasn't hit the tyres too hard. Let's see what happened to him.
On board with Boardman, and, well, he's run straight across the curbs, and the car's gone straight on. I suspect he's broken the front suspension.
And Hal was bouncing over the grass a little bit, coming out of clearways. Oh, he goes down the inside. He's attacking into Paddock Hill Bend. Collard tries to hold him tight. Oh, they make contact. Collard goes off into the Paddock Hill gravel trap, and that's surely the end of his race. He leads into Paddock Hill Bend for the second time here today. He led initially in the first race. Oh, and Matt Neal's all out of shape. In trouble, he hits Thompson and comes right across the track and into the tyres on the inside, and a potential race winner is out already.
So, two good starts for Muller.
Now let's see what happened in the confrontation with Matt Neal.
Contact initially just coming into it. Matt gets it straightened out, but his wheels are pointing to the right, and it just spears him off into James Thompson and then in the barriers.
So it was contact with Thompson on the way in and on the way out of the corner. This was the view from Paul O'Neill.
Matt Neal on the left, just turning in, and there's James Thompson. They're both arriving in the same space at once. Matt controls the slide, but his wheels are pointing slightly to the right, and that fires him back across the road.
But Warren Hughes is very late on the brakes, so they arrive side by side. There's a bit of contact. Thompson sideways. He's all crossed up. He's in the gravel. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost control, and he just keeps it out of the gravel. And amazingly, I don't think anyone else hits it.
Thompson on the outside, Hughes on the inside. They go into the corner. There's the slightest of touch. Thompson flat on the throttle again, but the car just flicks round and comes back on him. A very unfortunate spin.
Well, once again, we were lucky we didn't see a number of cars piling into him. And Muller's thrown away a possible race win here. Up towards Joyce, and Reed's gone down the inside. He's hit Muller. They're both into the gravel on the outside.
And now Muller should defend the inside because he's got Reed, who sees the gap, goes for it. Oh, just takes them both into the gravel. Fortunately, they keep going. But a good start again from Matt Neal, as you say. He's out in front. Oh, and that's Leslie off.
It's David Leslie, big smash against the tyre barrier. That's on the exit of the old hairpin. That's very much the end of the race for him, so we've lost one on this first lap, and there's a marker post going in the background. Matt Neal leads, James Thompson. Carl Breeze, meanwhile, busily defending here from Warren Hughes in the mid-pack. Oh, and Bennett sideways in front of Muller. Muller's hit him. As he was sideways in front of him, Muller carries on. Bennett continues as well. And meanwhile, this is a replay.
Well, Bennett's really in the thick of action here. He just tags the back of David Leslie car with some congestion coming out of the old hairpin, and it fires Leslie off. Well, this is on board with Muller, and there's still the congestion, and suddenly he's got Bennett sideways across the front of them. Third row of the grid in front of his teammate Matt Neal.
So, Morrison, we've seen him so often. Oh, and now there's another Honda. That's Tom Chilton bouncing over the grass. It almost went up on the end, but he's managed to gather it back together. Now to get a car off the line. Let's take another look back at what happened to Tom Chilton. Round the outside at Cascades he went and ran out of room.
Well, Tom's carried far too much speed into the corner, got out onto the grass, and he was...
Back at the youngster who's had such a good run. Oh, contact between Reed and Matt Neal. Neal's completely sideways. Reed goes to the inside. Turkington goes to the outside. Reed's on the grass. Turkington almost...
Let's see what happens. Turns in, over the curb. That just releases the rear, and it just comes round on him. He tries to get on the power and save it, but momentum takes over there, James.